All right, y'all. It is time to shine. It is time to shine. We are back yet again for another very special edition of the Run the Jewelz podcast show and vidcast series. Shout out to all of our listeners that are tuning in for our live stream episode today, whether you're listening with us on Wisdom. Shout out to our Wisdom listeners who are tuning in this evening, whether you're listening to the replay on Clubhouse, if you're on any of Facebook, YouTube, or just listening to the podcast episode currently right now. We appreciate you, Smart Jewels, for tuning in for tonight's very special episode. I'm your host, King Jewels, Julian Smartrimple here. If this is your first time rocking with us this evening, you're in for a treat because the RTJ Lifestyle Show was created to spread inspiration to young professionals and millennial entrepreneurs who want to learn wisdom on how to shine brighter in their careers or their businesses. And so whether you are a millennial, a Gen Zer, or even if you're a baby boomer out there, we still appreciate you for tuning in. You are one of our fellow Smart Jewels. We've inducted you into our Smart Jewels community, and so shout out to you all. For anyone who is a millennial, especially, or a Gen Zer who is a young professional or entrepreneur, if you're interested in being a guest on the RTJ podcast show, you can fill out the interest form that we have in the comment section for those who are tuning in via YouTube or via Facebook. And you will be able to complete an interest form to have our team look at and see if you have what it takes to be a part of our international show and our international community. And so we appreciate all of our shining jewels and VIP jewels that have been a part of this season for season 4 of the podcast series. You can definitely listen to us every Tuesday on the podcast show. Just search for the Run the Jewelz show on any podcast listening platform that you listen to your favorite podcasts or music streaming platform artists. And so shout out again to our wisdom listeners. If at any time for tonight's episode, you have any questions for my very special guests that we're going to bring on to the stage in one quick second, make sure you put it in the comment section below for those that are listening on any of the live streams. Or even if you are on Wisdom, don't be shy. This is an interactive live show. We want to hear from you, not just from myself. We want to hear from you all as guests that have any questions pertaining to the subject matter this evening. And so list your comments in the questions or that you have in the comment section. Or if you're on Wisdom, feel free to come up to the stage, you all. And so those are all my housekeeping announcements. Again, this is another very special episode for RTJ. We're about to get ready to bring up my very special guest. This is a young dynamic king that I came across via IG. And I believe he's actually even very close business associates and friends with one of our previous guests that we had on earlier this season. And so I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his background. He's definitely certified in finance. He's also even a motivational speaker. And also he is Liberian. I got to give a shout out to Liberia. Big up to Liberia. One of the first free African nations in West Africa. And so I literally was able to travel there. And me and this king was just talking right at the pre-show. And so I'm definitely interested in hearing more about his background and allowing him to bless you all with the knowledge and wisdom that he has on the subject this evening. And so without further ado, we're going to be talking about credit hacks, how to liquidate money from a credit card. So if you are interested in learning different credit hacks in order to use credit to your advantage and not to your detriment, you're in the right place to be, whether you're an entrepreneur or you want to be a business owner. Sooner rather than later, you're in for a treat. And so let me get ready to bring up to the stage my very special guest, Mr. Lusene Donzo, who is going to be introducing himself to you all this evening. Lusene, how you doing this evening, King?
Hey, how you doing, Drew, man? It's an honor. It's an honor, man. How you doing? How's everything with you, man?
Everything is well, King. We're just glad to have you on for tonight's episode. I know you're going to get ready to bless us with a ton of jewels of wisdom, but tell us a little bit about your background, King. Let people know where you're originally from. Let people know where you're tuning in from right now, currently, and also why is this an important subject for you to discuss with us this evening?
Check. So originally I'm from Monrovia, Liberia, and I came here in 2004 as a refugee. I ended up joining the military. Currently, right now, I'm a military captain, and the main reason why I decided to actually take on a job of learning more about credit was because credit really changed my life. You know, there was a time in my life where I had bad credit, where I couldn't qualify for anything, but I ended up teaching myself how to repair my own credit. And then I was able to get in an 840 credit score, where I used that 840 credit score to actually leverage it to where now I'm an entrepreneur actually teaching other people how to do the same. So that's one of the reasons that I made it decision to actually do that.
Absolutely. We definitely salute you too, King, for being one of our military veterans. I know it's definitely a very difficult job that you've been able to serve our country and our nation. So definitely big ups to you. And also, I know for those who are tuning in, if you're just rocking with us, you are in for a treat this evening. We're going to be learning from my special guest, King Lusene Donzo, who is going to be talking to us about credit hacks, how to liquidate money from a credit card. And so if you have any questions at any point for my very special guests, list them in the comment section below if you're tuning into our live stream, or if you're on the Wisdom app, if you want to know any and all things about how to leverage your credit, and especially how to use it for business purposes or investment purposes, make sure you come to the stage. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You can ask any question, and my very special guest will do his best to answer it for you. And so let's start from the bottom, King. Like, I know you told me you were in the military, and then you also were building up your credit. Like, tell us why was it important for you to take a different path in being able to build up your credit, especially from an early age, when a lot of people that are not just in our community, but even in our age bracket with millennials and Gen Zers, we're not really credit savvy. We're not really financially educated in using credit. So talk to us. What inspired you to start that journey?
So what inspired me was originally I had a 585 when I was in college. So I had a 585. I was trying to get a car for, I think it was $10,000 at the time, and I couldn't qualify for anything. And that sucked. I had to get a friend of mine who had good credit at the time to co-sign. And I'm the type of person, typically at that time, I didn't really like depending on other people. So that was one of the deciding factor where I wanted to learn more, because I didn't even know anything about credit until I decided I made a decision to go get the car, because I couldn't afford the car cash. So when I made the decision to get the car and I got denied, and the dealership told me, hey, I needed to get a cosigner. At the time, I didn't even know what was a cosigner. I didn't even know what was your credit score. So when he told me my credit score was 585, I was like, okay, what does that mean? And that's when he told me, he said, sir, that means your credit is bad. So that's what intrigued me. But still, I didn't really know too much about it. But as when I bought the car, after I bought the car, something is like a light bulb went on, where I asked myself, well, how can I learn more about, how can I learn more about this credit thing that this guy was telling me about? So that's when towards my senior year, I started doing my own research. I started educating myself. I started watching other people that were savvy in it. And then when I came on active duty, I'm in the military as a lieutenant. That's when I went full throttle on learning how to do so, where I started repairing my credit, because I had a lot of collections. I had a lot of negatives on my credit to help me. So I removed it myself. And then 18 months later, I was able to get in the 840.
Absolutely. That's definitely what's up, King. We're going to give you a quick commercial break so we can highlight our sponsor for this evening. For those who have been tracking with us this season, for season 4, each episode, we have a VIP sponsor that we like to highlight. And so let's take a look and see who our VIP sponsor is for today while we give my special guest a quick commercial break to catch his breath. So let's take a look and see who our VIP sponsor is for today, you all. Shout out to our VIP sponsor for today's episode. Comes from none other than one of my favorite affiliate partners that we partner with for season 4, Herb and Eden. Herb and Eden is a very much so vital health and essentials business, especially when it comes to having your organic wellness soaps, oils, scrubs, and other wellness products you can receive today if you're trying to get your skin tight, if you're trying to get your skin right, and having that skin feel like butter, as I like to say. You definitely need to invest in your self-care for kings and queens, for men and women, no matter what your ethnic group or nationality background is. Herb and Eden has what you need. And so you can receive a 15% off discount today by clicking the link that we're putting in the comment section to receive a 15% off discount exclusively through the Run the Jewelz podcast show and also Smart Jewels Enterprises. And so shout out to Herb and Eden, our VIP sponsor for tonight's episode. But back to our regular scheduled programming, we definitely want to hear more, Lusene, about literally how can we, especially as a community, use our credit to leverage for business purposes for those who are looking to get into business for themselves, those who are looking to get into some investment properties or investments for themselves. Like, what are some of the best tips or the best hacks that you learned for credit hacking earlier on?
So one of the things I always tell clients, right, or I tell people is the first thing when it comes to credit, you want to start building your personal credit, right? You want to make sure your personal credit is clean, right? Once your personal credit is clean, then you start establishing your business credit. Now, when you have a business credit, because your business credit doesn't necessarily goes towards your personal credit, it doesn't affect your personal credit. So one of the hacks and the things that I use or I do was when I build my personal credit, I usually apply for credit cards that have over 10,000 or 25,000 guaranteed. Now, once for example, I have over 100,000 in Navy Federal cards, right? So one of the plays that I use was I ended up getting 3 credit cards after I built my credit in the 750, 760, right? I ended up applying for 3 Navy Federal card. Once I applied for 3 Navy Federal card, I took the money outside of that because a lot of people don't know you can take money outside of your credit card. Now, what I tell people is when you take money off your credit card, it's not to buy a depreciating asset. It's to actually invest in something such as maybe you want to put a down payment on a property. Maybe you want to invest in a Turo business, right? It's something that you are trying to do so what I did was I took $50,000 off one of my credit card. I took $50,000 off one of my credit card, and myself and my buddy, we ended up investing into our property. So that's one of the ways that you can be able to actually, and you can actually be able to use your credit card to leverage, to liquid money out of your credit card.
Absolutely, King. We see that they got the police trying to kick in your door over there. It's all good, King. But shout out to, again, all of those who are listening in, especially for those who are rocking with us via Wisdom. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube this evening, list any questions that you have for my very special guest, Lusene, who is dropping a ton of jewels and literally showing us the blueprint and how to leverage our credit, especially to purchase assets. You good over there, King? We ain't want the popo to come and get you.
No, I had to open the door for somebody. I'm sorry. I had a friend of mine. Yeah.
Nah, it's all good. We know it's tax season. We know it's tax season. We know it's tax season right now. You know they coming back for them PPP loan frauds that's out here. So we wanted to make sure you good over there.
No, I'm good.
It's all good, King. But tell us, man, like where do you think are some of the biggest struggles, especially for, let's say, singles, not even just married couples, but even singles that are wanting to build up their credit that maybe didn't have their parents or their family members show them how to build credit, especially in their name while they were growing up or even in college as a college student? What are some of the biggest hurdles you've seen personally?
So one of the biggest hurdles I see is a lot of parents are afraid of actually teaching their kids credit. Because what happened to me was my mom would constantly tell me like, hey, don't get a credit card. Don't get a credit card. But I think the best decision that you can do if you're 18 years old, you're listening to this, is get a Discovery credit card, right? A Discovery credit card is one of the easiest credit card that you can get, and start building up your credit. What most people don't understand is if you start early, then you increase your credit age as you continue to grow. Let's say if you're 18 right now and you're able to get over, let's say 2 credit cards, right? By the time you're 28, like me, what's going to happen is you're going to have 10 years in credit age where you can be able to use that and actually leverage it. So a lot of times there's a lack of education, bro. The lack of education is what gets us as single people, and we're scared. And a lot of times when people are scared, or when your parents are talking about something where they have no education, you don't want to do it too. So I really think that getting the education is what is going to get you over that hurdles as a single person.
Yeah, that financial education is key. And I know you and I were speaking about that, King, like right before we got on for the pre-check. And when it comes to like financial freedom, that's something that a lot of singles and even married couples aren't really able to have credit education, not just financial freedom or financial wellness education, as I like to call it, but even how to leverage credit. And so shout out to all of those who are tuning in with us with the live chat and the live stream. Big up to all of our smart jewels that are listening on Wisdom and all the other applications this evening. But I think we had a question coming in for you too, Lusene. So let's see if we had a question. Miss Delta wanted to ask you, what do you think about people saying that all credit is bad credit? The good versus bad credit debate. What are your thoughts on that?
So all credit, I wouldn't say all credit is bad credit. Is what you do with credit, right? So my answer to that question would be, all credit is not bad credit, right? You have to look at what are you doing with credit. So a lot of times people get a credit card and they use a credit card to buy liabilities, right? So the purpose of getting a credit card is not to use it to buy liability. You got to get over the fact that you got to get over the fact that bad credit, right? Credit can be used for good. I use my good credit to be able to launch start my business where I'm making over 5-6 figures a month while I'm in the military. But you got to know what to do with that, right? There's no such thing as bad credit unless it comes to your score, right? The only thing bad about credit is your credit score, but everything else, you can build your credit and actually use your credit, leverage your credit to get fundings from the bank to invest in assets.
Yeah, that's good right there. And we all want to have more assets over our liabilities, like you're hearing from literally my very special guest. And so that was even going to be one of my follow-up questions, King. Like, what are some of the best assets for someone to leverage, even liquidating money off of a credit card, or just literally purchasing their first bit of assets in order to show that they are actively using their credit?
So one of the actually, this is a hack that I told my friend, and he was able to use this. So a lot of people don't know. I think it was last year. Remember when Ethereum was very low? So a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, Lusene, I need you to repair my credit." So I repaired his credit, and he was able to get $25,000 worth of credit from Navy Federal. The reason why I said Navy Federal, Alliant Credit Union is one of them, but Navy Federal give out money like hell, right? So when he got the $25,000, now this is risky, right? But if you are in stock, you can watch the market. He bought Ethereum at the time last year in January for $800, and he used his credit card to get Ethereum. Now, when Ethereum grew, he made literally over 60,000 or 64,000 off Ethereum shares. That's one way you can use. Let's say, for example, if you look at if you are into stocks, right? You're into stocks and you're trying to use your credit to buy some investments. You can use your good credit, get a credit card, right? Buy some stocks, because based on, let's say, if Ethereum is going to go up, right? Like right now, this is the best time to buy crypto. Everybody is saying, oh my God, crypto, people are losing money. When the market is red, this is when you buy. So when Ethereum was 800, he used his credit card. He bought, I think it was freaking 20 or 30 shares of Ethereum, where it was equivalent to 64,000 in October. So he used the money that he made, paid off his credit card. He ended up with a $40,000 profit. Another way you can you can liquidate your credit card is, let's say, one of the things that's booming right now is trucking, right? It's trucking. So what you can do is you can literally take the money that you have off your credit card, get a bunch of friends together, put a down payment on a truck that's probably about 60, 70, or $80,000, right? That's two ways you can use the money in your credit card to actually invest in asset. The last but not least one is put a down payment on the house, right? Let's say, for example, you don't have the funds, but you have the job. You don't have. Let's say you do not have. You have the job, but you do not have. Let's say the actual cash, right? You don't have the actual cash. What you need to do is all you need to do is repair your credit. Once you repair your credit, you go to the bank, apply for a credit card, or you apply for a loan, whether it's in your business or you get some type of funding from the bank. Now you use that money, you put a down payment on that property, then you can be able to leverage that and start putting people in the house for Airbnb and so forth. So those are three ways.
Yeah, you definitely walking good with that, King. I just talked to one of my cousins who's a financial consultant, and he was just telling me the boom of the trucking industry that's happening right now, especially for those who are either in dispatch or for those who are actually truckers that are on the roads right now, loading up rigs. And so that's literally a ton of jewels that Lusene is giving you all this evening, especially when it comes to finding assets to purchase credit with. And that was going to be one of my transitional questions. And for those who are listening on Wisdom, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and come onto the stage or in the chat. You can list any questions. No question is too outlandish or too outrageous. We'll do our best to answer any questions. But I wanted to even know, when it comes to business credit versus personal credit, like what are some of the best hacks that you suggest for even your clients, or even that you have used in order to build up business credit through personal credit? Or is there another strategy that you've used in order to build business credit too?
So for business credit, I'm not very savvy as I am on a personal credit side, but one of the things that I use my business credit for is for purchases that I do not want to appear on my personal credit, because I use my personal credit to leverage funds from the bank so that I can be able to buy assets. So for business credit, the sole purpose for me, what I use my business credit for is to buy miscellaneous, right? To pay for subscription for the subscription for my business, and that builds my business credit. I also use my business credit for, as if I'm trying to get a new laptop and all those things. I use my business credit for. But another thing you can do, or you can use for your business credit, is your business credit can be used to be able to get funding up to 100,000 funding if you are making a lot of money on your business. Now, when you're making a lot of money, if let's say if you're making if you've made over 6 figures on your business, you can be able to go to the bank and actually borrow a lot of money off your business loan that is not going to affect your personal credit, which you can take that money again, invest it in another business, or you can take that money and start scaling your business. So I recommend building business credit, which is currently what I'm doing right now, until you hit that 6 figures mark, so you can be able to go and take money from the bank, because the bank is going to be able to give you more money because they know your business is consistently making money compared to your personal. Right. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, no, that's real, King, especially when it comes to the big debate. I know I have this a lot with financial advisors, financial consultants, and even financial coaches like yourself and myself. Like, what do you suggest people should first literally apply for credit through? Do you I know we're biased because I'm also down with the credit unions, just like Navy Federal. Shout out to Navy Federal. And also even my credit union is Delta Community Credit. But do you suggest people get more perks or more benefits through credit unions, or do you suggest them going through big banks like the Wells Fargo, the Chases, and the Bank of Americas? Like, what are your thoughts on credit union benefits for going with your credit versus a big bank?
So I would suggest start with credit union, man. Credit union, because a lot of credit unions are more giver than big banks. Alliant Credit Union is a good bank that you can use. You do have to be with them for 6 months, 3 to 6 months, I believe. Navy Federal, I think it's FedTech or FinTech Credit Union. Those are 3 that I would suggest. So I would definitely say credit union. Credit union is you want to. I do have a list of all the banks I have a list of all the banks that you can actually get funding from, and most of the banks on that list are credit union. Why? Because a lot of credit unions are trying to compete with those big banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and all those. So yeah, I'll have to go with credit union.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm biased, just like you said. I love Delta Community Credit and even Georgia's own here in Atlanta area in the A-Town. Those are 2 very community friendly unions, along with, of course, your credit union, Navy Federal, that a few of my connections and also my family members use. And so shout out to all the credit unions, especially for those who are trying to have more of a home-based community feel versus you're just one of the number in a big bank atmosphere. And so like that's definitely what we wanted to pivot into, is speaking about like extracting money off of, or liquidating money off of credit cards. I know I've heard the best practices of using this, especially for purchasing real estate, from some of my friends who have worked at NACA, or even some of my friends who are realtors or real estate brokers, and even those who purchase tax liens. They speak heavily about literally liquidating money off of your credit card. And so, like, what are the steps to do this, and how should one approach this if this is their first time from them hearing about even that you could take money off of your credit card? Like, what would you tell those individuals, King, in the first steps to go about that?
So the first step would be, if you have bad credit, right? Start building your credit, right? You want to build your personal credit. That's the first step, right? The second step will be to then apply for credit cards with some of those big credit unions or small credit unions. Some of the banks that I have cards with: Capital One, Chase. Chase offer, if you have, I believe, over 680 or 700, Chase will give you anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. Right. So you want to apply at Chase, you want to apply at Bank of America, you want to apply at Navy Federal. You want to apply, you want to apply like the Apple Card. There's the Apple Play, right? What other banks that I have? Discovery, Citi. So most of those banks offer you anywhere from 8 to 25 or 30,000. So I have over 300 in personal credit limit, right? Once you do that, now let's say you have applied, you got your credit in 700, 750, and your credit score is kind of going to go down a little bit, right? As it should, but you have over $300 in credit, 300,000 in credit. Now you look at some of those credit cards and you look at some of the opportunities that are out here, and you say, what can I invest in? For example, let's say, like, I use my friend Trick, right? He studies stocks, right? He studies stocks, and he knows. He said, well, Bitcoin is, I mean, not Bitcoin, Ethereum was low at the time, and he said, I'm going to buy a lot of share of this because he know the market is going to go up. And he took his credit card and he bought that. And then when it went up, he made 64,000. He took some of the money, he paid off the credit card, but he was still paying off the credit card even though he invested. He paid 20,000. One thing I want to add on to that is make sure that you can be able to afford paying off your credit card, guys. Don't just go and just get a credit card and spend 20,000 and you can't afford to pay for it. That's not something that I recommend. So that would be my step. That's the step that I use, where I was able to invest in stock. I was able to invest in trucks, and I was able to invest with a friend of mine on the down payment on a property. Another thing I would say, when you get your credit card, right, it will specifically tell you how much money you can take out. Right. So like a few of my credit cards, I can take about 11,000 out of my credit card. So you gotta read the fine print and saying what type of how much money you can take out. Or some payments allow you to actually use your credit card. Some payments actually allow you to take the cash out. If let's say if you're trying to get a truck and the truck needs actual ACH cash, like you need to have cash on hand. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, okay, well, I'm going to go to the bank, take out, if you can take out 11,000 because you have a 30,000 credit limit, boom, take that 11,000 out. You got that cash, go to make that deposit, boom. Now you get a bunch of buddy together and you guys invest in that in that trucking business. But you got to make sure that you can be able to pay off that 11,000 monthly on your credit card. Another thing I would highly suggest people do not go get a credit card if your credit is low, because they're going to give you a high APR. A lot of my credit cards, I have less than 6%. I have less than 3% on few of my credit cards with Navy Federal. Why? Because I applied for them when I had high 700. I was in the 780, 790. So you always want to build your personal credit first and then start using those plays.
Yeah, nah, he's dropping a ton of jewels for you all and myself even. You have to have a plan. I know I work with tons of clients, just like we were both speaking about in the pre-check, when it comes to them getting out of debt from especially over usage or malfunctioning usage, as I like to say, when it comes to paying off credit debt. And so I know we had a question for you too, King, but I definitely want to speak on some best practices, as you mentioned, for people to not get in over their head with not being able to pay off debt on credit quickly. And I know Delta had one more question for you. She said, do you believe investing in memberships like Jay Morrison's camp is worth it? So like Jay Morrison, who's one of the real estate gurus, what are your thoughts on memberships like that?
So first and foremost, big hats to you. Jay Morrison is the GOAT, man. I have not, disclaimer, I've never invested in him. But I do follow him and I do listen to a lot of his financial advice. I'm a huge fan, But if you believe in what he is selling, if you believe in his product, I definitely think yes. So I'm just going to give you guys a background. So one of my mentors actually, I use credit to invest in him, and because I use credit to invest in him, I was able to let the lessons that we learned in a private community was help me to earn where consistently I'm making anywhere from 10,000 and up while in the military. So if you believe in what Jay Morrison is selling you and you believe that community is going to change you, I definitely think it's worth it. Sometimes you got to spend to be stretched. That's what my mentor said. You got to spend to be stretched, because when you got to be paying that, you'll pay attention. Because if you don't pay, you don't pay attention.
Yeah, that's real. And that's what even I was going to pivot to asking when it comes to being in accountability groups or soliciting coaches or mentors. Like, what are your thoughts on why people, especially potential clients or even millennials and Gen Zers, should have a financial coach and not just trust their own financial or lack of education or financial education? Like, why do you think they should even invest in financial coaches just as much as you have a wellness coach or a fitness coach or even a lifestyle or life coach that you invest in?
Man, I think investing in a coach that you believe in, you can never go wrong, right? The key word is you believe in. You believe what they're selling you, and you believe in their products and services that it can make a difference in your life. I am 100% accurate, or I'm full on board with investing in a financial coach, investing in any type of mentor. Because what mentors does is they teach you, they teach you how to get to where you're trying to go at a quicker and faster way, right? You're skipping the hard way, because they're telling you things that you don't have to go through, right? So I highly believe, if you're in the financial industry and you see somebody that their lifestyle or what they have or what they're doing match what you're trying to achieve, I definitely think you should go for it. Because my thing is, a lot of people mimic people that they don't see themselves in. Right. So you got to look at it as do I see what this person is doing? Do I see myself in this person? Because if you don't see yourself in that person, I don't think you should invest in them. But if you see what they're doing and you believe in their product and servicing, and you really believe that they can take you to your promised land, hell yeah, definitely get a financial mentor or whatever type of mentor. We all need mentors. Every single one of you guys watching this, you need a mentor. Like, I have 3 mentors, right? So I'm not gonna tell you, you it's up to you, but make sure you get a mentor in anything. What is it's credit, it's business, like whatever business you're in, get you a mentor. Like, now, if you can't afford it, save up and get you a mentor.
Yeah, Lusene is on point with that. He's dropping a ton of jewels on the importance of having a guide and actually having a mentor. I even invest in my own personal coaches and mentors too. And even though we're both coaches and consultants and speakers, it's never where you've met the top and being able to not learn and not be the student versus the teacher. And so it's always important to invest in your personal coaching and mentorship. And then I know before we let you get out of here for our final jewel, really quick, King, we wanted to definitely see what are some of the best practices in, as you mentioned, not getting into heavy credit card debt. I know that is still one of the most popular forms of debt outside of medical debt, from what I've seen from my financial freedom coaching and consulting that I do. And so, like, what are some methods for millennials or even Gen Zers specifically to use in order to pay off the credit card on time and to not get literally tumbled or pummeled from not paying off their credit on a diligent or disciplined manner? Like, what are some of the hacks or strategies for that?
So the first strategy, I would say to anyone, regardless of your age, right, is make sure you have a job before you get a credit card, man. Like, don't go get a credit card and you don't have a job. That is, like, I 120% disagree. Never get a credit. I don't even care if the credit card has a $500 limit on it. Always make sure you have a job first, and then another thing I'll say, start building your credit, such as there's different hacks, right? There's Rental Karma, right? Rental Karma I used when like 4 years ago, where you actually can sign up with them. Rent Reporters, Rental Karma. If you have an apartment right now, go to Rental Karma, go to Rent Reporters, sign up with them, and they can be able to actually, while you're paying your rent on time, you can be building your credit. That's one of the hacks that I use to actually build my credit quick and fast, right? So I would say use some of those hacks. Another thing I would say, start with the secure cards first, right? You want to start with the secure card first. And then another hack I would say, when you get a credit card, every 6 months, call and ask for an increase, right? So call and ask for an increase. Another hack I would say is more on a personal side that I use. When I bought my car, when I got my car with a loan, what happened was I refinanced my car 3 times. So I used 3 different loans to refinance my car, but I paid off all those. It was 3 positive accounts on my car, which when I paid it off, it boosted my credit up, because according to the credit, according to everything has to do with your credit report, right? If your credit report is structured right and it looks good, then the banks love it. So I got a car, then I went to DAQ Credit Union. I got a loan from them, pay off the loan with Navy Federal, right? So I use a loan. A lot of people say, why are you using a loan to pay off a loan? Well, if you can afford to do so, it's a hack, right? So I use one loan to pay off another loan. Then a year later, I used that loan to pay off that loan. Now on my credit report, it showed 3 positive accounts, which that is good. Another hack I would say too, when you're starting off, let's say you're in college, or let's say you don't have a high paying job, you're not making 6 figures, you're making $30,000, right? What I would tell you is go to the bank, right, and say, hey, look, listen, I want to take out a $600 loan, right? Take out a $600 loan and make sure you pay off, make sure you have 600 in your account, right? And like in the first 2-3 months, pay like freaking 300, right? And then pay it off slowly. And then in 6 months, pay off that loan. Do that 3 to 4 or 5 times throughout in about 12 to 18 months. I promise you, your credit score is going to go up. Why? Because those are positive accounts, and you are showing that bank that you are borrowing money. They're making money off the interest of you, but then you are responsible to pay off that loan. I did it with Navy Federal, which is one of the reasons why I have over 100K in terms of credit with Navy Federal. I am doing it with Bank of America. I'm doing it with Chase Bank. Those are plays that you can use right now. If you have $1,000 down, go get $1,000 loan. Once you get $1,000 loan, pay off like $500, pay it off slowly, right? And then get another loan. People will look at you like you're crazy. Why are you doing that? Well, because the bank got to make money off you, and you want to show the bank that, hey, I am responsible to pay it off. I promise you, if you have the right credit score, because I did it before, and you do that, you can go to Navy Federal or Bank of America or DAQ or any bank where you've bank with for a year and you have 4 or 5 positive accounts. And if you're making the right amount of money, you can borrow up to $50,000 to $100,000. I have done it before. So that's what I would tell the person.
That's real. Lusene is dropping the jewels before we get into our final jewel segment. So for those who have been tuning in for this episode thus far, we have been hearing a ton of jewels from my very special guests. And so we've reached the part of our show where we allow our special guests to leave a final jewel of wisdom. We talked about how to liquidate cash off of a credit card. We've talked about the process of building your credit and even strategies to make sure that you pay off your credit on time so that you do not have tons of debt to your name. We've talked about a ton of aspects of purchasing assets through credit. And so what would be a final jewel of wisdom or a final thought that you would want to leave with the audience when it comes to this subject tonight, credit hacks and how to liquidate cash off of credit cards?
So the final hack I'll say, it probably don't have anything to do with credit, is any field that you're trying to get in, right? Whether it's credit, it's fitness, it's door-to-door or e-commerce, whatever field you're trying to get in, right? You want to make sure you follow someone, or you know someone that you follow or you personally know that is doing it, right? And then once you know that person, like before I got into the credit game, I followed a particular person that was talking about credit, and then I invested in his product, right? What a lot of people don't understand is when you invest in something, when you pay for a course, or you spend money to do something, and you take that knowledge, if you really are intrigued about that knowledge, then you can expand and expand and expand. And then you can take that knowledge that you gain from somebody else and leverage it towards your own. And then you can start doing your own stuff. But in anything, you're still going to need to credit, right? And I know I know I said it wasn't going to be back to credit, but businesses nowadays, most businesses, and I listen to Grant Cardone and all these people, they borrow money from the bank, right? So make sure whoever you follow, whoever you like, whatever niche they are, first try to buy something from them, learn from them, and then use that information, expand on that information, and leverage it towards your audience.
Absolutely, that's an awesome final jewel to end off on tonight. And so, where can Lusene, where can they follow and keep up and even solicit your services? Like, what are some of the best ways that people can get in touch with you after today's interview, King?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Lusene to Motivate on the platform. So some of the services that I offer is myself and my business partner, we offer free credit repair. So if you guys are looking into that, make sure you go in and link in the bio and schedule a consultation. Either myself or you or him will talk to you guys. We're both military individuals. And another service I offer for my course is $47. Where you literally can be able to learn what I learned. And remember, I said this before, stop trying to do everything yourself, right? You want to know what is in that person's head so you can get a faster track, which is what I paid my mentor 50 grand. And he was able to teach me how to consistently make over 10 and so forth, right? So those are the two services I offer. You can get my course, and then we offer free credit repair. So if you guys are looking to take advantage of that, make sure you do, and follow me on Instagram.
Absolutely. Y'all make sure you track and also tap in with Lusene, literally for all of his services that he's provided. We appreciate you, King, in coming on and running the jewels and dropping the jewels with our audience tonight. What we're going to do is say a quick prayer over you to bless you for coming on and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. And then we'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. Father God, I just want to thank you for Brother Lusene being able to come on and just share his story, share his talents, and also share his knowledge with us, Father, and being able to learn how to leverage credit and also learn how to build assets through credit and financial education. We thank you for him turning literally his family and his legacy in an upward fashion to be able to establish a financial legacy for his children and his children's children to attain. We thank you for all that you've done for his business and his services flourishing this season. And we pray that you will send him more resources, more clientele, and even just more opportunities to shine bright like you've called him to do. And we love you, Father. I thank you for this time you've allowed us to share this evening. And we ask that you will bless him in your son, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Christ's name. Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
We appreciate you coming on, King. Definitely, we got to link up again. And also, if you are not following Lusene, make sure that you definitely follow him after tonight's episode. If you've been blessed by tonight's episode, feel free to sow a seed with us. There's 3 ways to sow for tonight's episode. You could either Cash App us at $SMART, SMARTJEWELZ, or you can hit the link that's in the comment section to become a monthly Patreon with us. And so no seed is too small or too large. This goes back into our international podcast equipment and services that we use to make a quality show each and every week. So thank you all for tuning in. And Lusene will definitely be in touch, King. We appreciate you coming on, and have a great week. Peace.
You too.
All right, King. All right, y'all. I'm going to do some quick final wrap up jewels for today, some jewels for thought for those who have been rocking with us. Thank you for still tracking with us this episode. We're about to get ready just to show you on some of the things that we have going on for RTJ as we get ready to wind down this season. And so y'all take a look and see what are some of the things that we have cooking in the pot as we get ready to close out season 4 this season. And so take a look. We all are going to be on the road for the rest of the time this season. And so shout out to those who are tracking with us. We're literally a couple episodes away from our 200th episode. But myself and our team are going to be speaking at multiple conferences this year. I'm excited, and we're excited to present to you. We're speaking at the Black Pod Festival here in Atlanta this May 28th and 29th at the Loudermilk Conference Center. I'm going to be speaking on how to repurpose your podcast for creative marketing. And so if you are in the A-Town area this May, feel free to go to www.blkpodfestival.com. That's blkpodfestival.com to register and hear from myself and other podcasters, creatives, and also influencers that are going to be sharing the stage and showing you how to monetize and also scale your podcast. And then this week, we're speaking at the Sanaya Beijing conference that is held out of Beijing in China. And so I am presenting also on a conference session. And so if you're in any one of these locations, or even if you want to track with the conference online, definitely register with the link that we're putting in the comments. Also, and so we have multiple sponsorship packages for you and your business to be marketed and receive a solicitation spot on our podcast show, our international podcast show. And so if you're interested, go to www.smart, SmartJewelz, enterprises.org. That's Smart Jewels with a Z, enterprises.org. And to allow us to show you the secret to allowing your brand or your business to scale and also to be on a podcast network like ours. We will also be highlighting in one of our next episodes, Mr. Ty Franklin, who's going to be speaking on the first steps to become a wholesale real estate investor. And so Lusene teed up talking about investing in your assets and investing in credit to purchase assets. And so Ty is going to be tying all this together with talking about his journey into being a wholesale real estate investor. So stay tuned. If you're rocking with us on any of the podcast platforms, go and search for the Run the Jewelz Show hosted by myself, King Jewels, Julian Smartrimple, and look at and listen to some of our recent episodes that we've been launching from season 1 all the way now to season 4. We put in the work, we put in the time. 200th episode is on the horizon, and so we're going to be celebrating all of the wins we've done in 200 episodes, you all. So stay tuned, stay hydrated, shine bright like the bright diamond jewel you've been created to be, because someone needs to see the light and feel the light that is given to you in order to lead people out of darkness, in order to shine. And so we'll see you all next week. Stay blessed, stay hydrated until we meet again. Follow us, subscribe to us, and feel free to sow a seed with us. Peace.